All right. Well, good morning, everybody. Hope you had a fun, education-filled week all throughout the week. Got another day and a half left here, I guess, for those of you that are staying for tomorrow. And looking forward to the excitement tonight, Universal Orlando. It's going to be a good time. Hopefully we'll see somebody when we're out there. I'm Marty Carreras, and with me today is Ghana. Ghana, want to introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. I'm Ganapati Venkatachalam, and I'm a solution architect in the Dynamics 365 R&D team, part of Marty's team as well.
Perfect. And I'm Marty Carreras. I'm a principal program manager of the same team. Day to day, I actually focus on working with our U.S. government customers in the capacity of what's called our FastTrack Architect program. And what we do is we work with customers that are in the process of going through deployments, from the point of making an investment, saying we're going to go ahead and go online with our investment and use Dynamics 365. And we help to coach and advise and provide technical architecture guidance throughout the overall deployment phase, and then beyond that as well. But then one of the other things we do, and this is what today's discussion is about, is we help facilitate the process for those of you that are running on-premise right now, and facilitate the ability to rise from on-premise into online, and do it in a way where we maintain the entirety of your on-premise database. There's a lot of different strategies and motions to be able to migrate from on-prem to online. Fundamentally, they break into two categories. You can do a data migration and everything that goes along with being able to do that, or you can take the backup of your database and actually put it in online. You don't have the ability to do that yourself unless you work with us through this tool. And today is all about what this tool is, how it can help you, how it can accelerate your ability to go from on-premise into online, and then drive you to being able to get to version 9 and all the other goodness you might have seen throughout the week this week with all the new announcements of what's coming with Dynamics 365. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to walk through what that tool is, how you get engaged with us, how it can work for you, how it can benefit you. And hopefully there's some, through that you'll have some questions, and we'll ask you to come up to the microphone and ask some of those questions as we go through the discussion. Okay? So first off, let's start off with some challenges. Typical challenges of going from on-prem to online. First off, let me ask you by a show of hands. Has anyone done this yet? Has anyone tried to migrate back in the corner there? A couple here? Okay. So I think some of these challenges might resonate with you, and there are many others. Typically, from what usually comes up is there's not a prescribed guidance in terms of how you can take your data and move it online. And if there is, there are some really good tools in AppSource to help facilitate some of this, or you could use Scribe or SSIS with some sort of a data connector to mass move that data. But if you're doing it with a sizable database, it's going to take a really long time, right? There are certain throttles and controls that we have in the online service where the throughput can only be so fast. We have to go through the APIs to do that. There is certainly the element of audit. Typically when you have a solution that's been running for quite a number of years, the audit trail is important to you, right? When you do a migration through data migration, you're going to lose that audit because there's no mechanism to programmatically push that audit into your org or your instance online. It's not very easy to be able to do an analysis in an automated way of what some of the unsupported customizations are that you have in your org today or in your database that you might have had an opportunity to implement. It's hard to find those things. You might be able to do an engagement with Premier and help sort some of those things out. But from an automated way for you to be able to just kind of run a report and see it for yourself, it's not that straightforward if you're kind of doing this unaided. The other thing is that when you're on-prem, there's a tendency to do things such as create direct database connections, even if it's just for read, right? I mean, we used to say in the old days, if you want to go to the database, do it with reads, but know at your own risk what you're doing. If you're trying to do updates at the database level, you're really stepping over the line, right? But there was a lot of people that would do reads, especially when trying to pull out information into a data warehouse and things like that. And the strategy to do that often involves stored procedures. Well, when you're working in the online world, we can't allow that, right? We can't have custom stored procedures in the database because that could open us up, open you all up, open your neighbors up to a lot of concerns from a security perspective. So there's things that need to be kind of worked out and identified that need to be remediated. A majority of our customers are actually still in 2011, right? Many of you might be today. And so going through that process of wanting to now have your org work in version 9 or version 8.2, whichever, at this point in time. It is going to involve going from 2011 to 2013 to 2015 to 2016, making sure things are working along the way. And again, in an unaided way, in an on-prem environment, that means you're spinning up a 2013 server group, you're spinning up a 2015, you're spinning up a 2016, you're going toot, 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 you're stepping all the way through that. It can be very time-consuming, it can be very resource-intensive, especially if you personally are the ones that are part of a group that might be constrained in being able to control the investments of what hardware and software you're able to install to be able to facilitate that, okay? And then, again, going back to the migration of the data, not only do you have to use these tools, and not only is there the element of it just takes time to migrate data, but the reality is if you have a complex solution, trying to script all that is tough, right? If you've got a large, organization that has multiple facets, sales and service, and maybe you're doing some things with marketing campaigns and a whole bunch of other customizations that you may have made, it gets tough to figure out what is the mechanism and the order to be able to upload your data in the right way to keep all those relationships intact, right? So data migration is never fun, and if you're trying to do it manually to move from one instance, one org to another, whether that's on-prem to online or otherwise, that's challenging. So this whole tool is meant to address all of that, because what we do here is, again, we're taking a backup of your database and essentially mounting it as an instance in the online tenant. And that's the bottom line. So how do we do this, right? It's not just about moving the data, right? Moving the org. The other part of it, as mentioned in some of the challenges, is helping to guide you in identifying what some of those problems are that you might have in your instance or your org that need to be remediated. What are some of those deprecated functions that have been hanging around for a while, right? Being able to have a tool that rips through your entire solution and identifies for you, these are the areas where you need to go take your plugins and put them into sandbox mode. Here are a number of endpoints that have been deprecated for many years, but now it really matters because you're beyond the support the support timeline. And then there's also a part of this where there's pieces that you need to do in terms of mitigating some of these things that we help you identify, but there's also things in terms of cleaning out some of the things in the database that we automate, right? Taking, being able to take away some of the, custom schema manipulations that have been made in the database. We can take those things out. And so again, the tool helps to clean up and get things ready, make it pure to have it work correctly online, okay? So let's look at a couple things that it solves and some of the things it won't solve. So first off, I want to point out some of the requirements, right? So this tool's great, but there is one really, really important thing to understand at this juncture. And that is that our Dynamics 365 online environment, up until version 8.2.2, which is the current version before version 9, it's running in our overall scale group infrastructure. And from a SQL Server perspective, it's running on SQL Server. And specifically, it's running on SQL Server 2012. Well, as you may know, it's not possible really to take a 2014 database and move it into an environment where the environment is running 2012. Not directly anyway. So one of the requirements we have in the program is that the SQL Server database, we expect that to be at 2012 in terms of the backup that's being produced. Many of you may have some questions about that in terms of, well, what if it's not? Let us get through the conversation and the kind of the overview of how this all works, and we'll circle back to that. And if we don't have time, definitely come up and let's talk about it in detail about how to address that particular piece. This time last year is when we launched this tool, right? Last year is at Ignite, Adi Varma, who was the program manager, who actually was the one that really drove the whole team in developing and bringing this tool to market, along with Ghana along the way, right? Presented this tool as something that we were going to start working with customers to go do. So over the last 12 months, we've migrated around about 130 or so customers from a production perspective and a magnitude of 2 or 3 that many more databases as part of the overall mock runs and tests and things like that. So it's very well-oiled machine at this juncture. Originally, we had put a constraint in there that you needed to be at CRM 2015 so that we could go through one upgrade to 2016 before we brought you online. We've since refined the process to the point where we actually can start with 2016 now. One of the key elements, though, is that SQL Server needs to be at 2012. Okay? We'll show you how that works when we get into the demonstration in terms of how all those things play out. So it's going to migrate all your solutions. It's going to migrate your audit log, right? It's going to migrate everything in your database because literally we are taking a dot back, moving it over into our online environment, and restoring it. At the end of the day, that's really what we're doing. And again, it's going to check for a lot of those potential security issues that might be evident within the database, especially when there's a lot of customization that's been done to the database directly. Some things it won't do. It's not going to automatically figure out how to rewrite all your interfaces, right? I mean, it's literally impossible. If you've got interfaces that are tapping directly into your org, your on-prem org, those are the things that need to be revisited. And that becomes where your effort from your upgrade perspective or your migration perspective, that's where your effort is able to be concentrated. It's nice that you can concentrate there because that's where a lot of the expertise needs to be and not necessarily have to also have a whole set of effort to migrate your actual data, right? So we're taking care of the data part, but we still would need you to take care of anything that you've done to work with that database and the surrounding orbiting systems that work with it. The upgrade is a multi-step process. So here's what we're not going to do. We're not going to sit down with you and say, all right, here's your production org. Let's start talking on Monday, and by Friday you're going to be upgraded that production org to production online. It's unrealistic. Even if you don't have any interfaces, even if you don't have anything else touching the system, even in the most simplistic solution that you have, there's a series of migrations processes and mock runs that we'll go through. And it's intended that way, right? You iterate through, you learn, you have some mitigations, we fix them. We work with you to help identify what some of the strategies are to fix some of the issues that come up. And you try again, and we try again, and we try again. It gets to the point where it becomes very routine, and you can start to nail down your run times, and you can say, all right, I'm going to bring my users down at 5 p.m. on Friday. We're going to run the upgrade process, and because of all the mock runs, I know it has taken me 6, 7, 8, 10, 12 hours, whatever the case may be. And you can have a predictable run book and playbook to have consistency and expectations in terms of what that cutover is going to be. Selective data migration is not possible. I mean, it perhaps is self-evident, but again, we're taking a backup of your database and restoring it. So if there's a desire to say, well, I want to do this migration, but I don't want to take all of my cases that have been closed for 2 years, that's not something we can do. Those would be things that we would want to look at doing as part of the cutover process to take a version of your production database, trim that data out, and then we start the migration process, right? So we're taking the whole database, kind of whole kit and caboodle, and moving it up. And again, third-party integration certainly is something that needs to be considered depending on what it is, because again, there's only so much that we can predict and do for you. So there is still work to be done. It's just that we're taking a big lion's share of it out of your hands in terms of automating some things that otherwise are arduous. So what is this tool that I keep referring to? Has anybody in here dealt with Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations? Okay, 1 or 2 of you. So you're familiar with what's called the Lifecycle Services tool, LCS. Sometimes it's just shortened as an acronym. What this tool is, it actually does a lot of things for us. In the finance and operations world, it's a way of being able to have kind of a structured project methodology in terms of taking a project from start to implementation. It all helps in the migration processes and all those things in the F&O world. For those of you that don't live in that world, things work a little bit differently in the F&O side than they do in the Dynamics customer engagement side. We have the concept of solutions. F&O does a little bit differently. The LCS tool was built as a mechanism to be able to guide people through a structured process and to kick off automation scripts, especially when dealing with automation in connection with an Azure subscription. And so what this tool is doing is guiding you through a set of 4 major stages, a number of steps in that stage. Some of them are requiring you to do certain things. Others are actually indicating that the tool is going and executing some automation for you to go through a process of creating environments where you can take your 2011 backup, take it to 2013, 15, 16, and all the way through. But it's automating the creation of necessary VMs, automating the process of uploading the backup into a database and then deploying it, and then taking another backup, taking it from 11 to 13 to 15 to 16. Right? So that's what LCS is doing for us. It's the tool that orchestrates the execution of the process all along the way. It's the tool that gives us feedback and provides some files that you can download that give you feedback around the automation that runs to tell you where you've got remediations and where you've got some deprecations that you have to go take care of. And it's the tool that gives us errors when things come along, when the unexpected hiccups occur, that give us the feedback to say, okay, this is what we have to go help you fix. Okay? All right, so with that, let me show you one more picture, and then Ghana's going to jump in to show you what this tool really looks like, because that's where it kind of starts to connect a little bit. So if we start in the bottom left, what we're doing here is we're taking, I'll kind of use a pointer, but in the bottom left where you can see the on-premise database. The on-premise database is uploaded into your Azure subscription. Okay, so there's an element here where we wanted to respect the fact that when taking care of your data and moving your data from your on-premise environment to online, we wanted to make sure that your data stayed in your control of your subscription, in your boundaries for as long as possible. And it stays that way up until the point where we take the final backup and move it into our CRM or our Dynamics 365 online environment. But up until that point, it's in your control. But we do need to interact with an environment that we can script, that we can automate, and so we do that through your Azure subscription. So there does need to be an Azure subscription available to facilitate this, because again, we're spinning up VMs, we're creating environments to execute this upgrade. Okay? So it all starts with the on-prem database being uploaded to blob storage, and from there, the overall LCS tool, the Lifecycle Services tool, is orchestrating this process where we're going and creating these VMs. We're taking the backup, importing it into 2011, taking it from 2011 and taking another backup, moving it into the 2013 environment, taking another backup, moving that into 15, taking it back up, moving it into 16, all the way through, right? So that's what we're stepping through. And at the very last part of it, there's a process where it actually will generate a file, which is probably one of the most important files next to the actual backup, which is a user mapping. So for anybody that's ever tried to go through a process of moving your CRM on-prem org that's connected from one AD domain to another, you know that there's a process you have to go to switch all your user IDs. Well, the same thing here, right? If we're taking an on-prem org that's connected up to your local AD domains, either through ADFS or otherwise, we have to change all those UPNs to be representative of UPNs that are in the Office 365 environment, okay? Which means also that, again, we're moving to online, right? So the intention here is that you're moving to an online environment, you have the appropriate licenses and the environments for us to be able to use. So what you're doing at this user mapping stage is literally taking an Excel spreadsheet, taking all your users, and telling us what are the UPNs that represent those users. There's one question here. I'll repeat it for those that can't hear.
Is that the exact same user mapping tool that we have on-prem, where you can create a custom map, sort to target the user IDs?
Yeah, it's similar. Yeah, it's similar. Like when you go through that when you do a deployment, when you go through that deployment phase and you can specify the mapping of users from one to the other, yeah, it's essentially doing the same thing. It's going and changing all the changing the UPNs.
But basically, we would provide you that same XMLS file?
No, so the question is are you providing us the same file that's used when you do this on-prem? Not literally, but it's a similar pattern, meaning that we generate the file from your org of all your users, and then you go fill in the spreadsheet that indicates what are the new UPNs and what of those users should be indicated as admins, right? So with that and the backup file, we take both of those, move them over into our online environment, and basically restore it. So if anybody's worked online and has gone through a restore of a database, that's effectively what we're doing at that stage. We're restoring it, but then we're also going through and mapping all the users to change all the user IDs. And then once that happens, then the user sync occurs that for everybody that's licensed will then be available and activated to get into your environment. There's a question here.
If you had an older version and you were moving to online, would you have to buy the licenses for the newer on-prem in order to make the move? If you're jumping from one
Okay.
older application to online, would you have to get licensed for the newer version for on-prem before you can make the move to online?
Okay, so the question is, if you've had licensing for on-prem, do you need to get newer versions of on-prem licensing before you can move to online? The answer to that is what you really need is you need the online licenses. So if you currently have CRM Online Pro and you have 500 of those seats or 1,000 or 20,000, whatever the number is, if you've got CRM Online Pro or Basic and all that, what you need to do is go and get subscriptions for the Dynamics 365 online service. So you get user subscription licenses. And that's where you'd work with your Microsoft representative, the sales representative, to say, okay, I need X number of customer service or X number of sales or X number of the customer engagement plan. Those need to be established in the tenant before we really can do anything, because effectively, if you do it beforehand, no one can get in because you need a license to be able to get into an instance. Does that answer your question?
So you would not need to.
No. Not the on-prem. You wouldn't need to go and if you've gone outside the realm of software assurance, you don't have to go rebuy on-prem licenses in order to go through it, right? You'd really just be starting with, okay, here's my online licenses, and here's my backup, and let's go to it.
And that's for the CRM, also for project and all the other tools.
So this whole conversation is very specific to CRM, very specific to CRM. Whatever we can do from any of the Office products, whether it be Exchange, Project, whatever, that's a conversation for the Office team. So this is very, very specific to the Dynamics world. Okay? There's one question over here.
How do you address disabled users that own records in the old environment that won't exist in online?
Okay, perfect. Thank you for asking that. The question was, to repeat it for everybody, how do we handle disabled users in the on-prem environment? How do we handle record ownership and just reference to those users in the online environment? There's a concept in our platform called stub users. And a stub user, right, is a user that exists in the system that is disabled. One of the reasons that they're disabled is because they don't have a license, right? So a stub user is someone that has reference in there. And for those users, you don't have to map them, right? I mean, you may have them as whatever / their username. You may not have a mapping for them. The user will still be in the database because remember, we're taking the whole database, right? We're not trimming any data, so the user record will still be there. They will just never have a UPN mapping, right? If at the point in time later they become a user, the user sync process is able to detect and find them and match that up at that point in time. But we want to do the user mapping process as part of the upgrade because it's far more efficient and faster.
Thanks.
Okay?
For testing purposes, do we need to get all the licenses? For example, if you have a 500 organization and we're doing the testing, do we need to get 500 licenses, or can we use 110?
No, you don't. Technically, you do not. You need enough licenses to have, and what you really need is licenses to sandboxes in the online environment. Because if you're going to be running through multiple iterations, and you run through one test and you want to run through another one, you want to keep that around, we do need the instances there, right? In instances, you get production and sandbox with your first set of licenses, and then you can buy additional instances as you need them, right? But from a user perspective, you only need the requisite users that you're going to actually map as part of the initial processes.
But that does mean we need to get probably more data.
More what?
Additional data, don't we? Because each user comes with a certain amount of data.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. So the point was, it may mean you need to subscribe to more gigabytes of data because data drives the number of how much storage that you actually have in the tenant. That's a good point. Okay? So let's take a minute, Ghana. Let's transition over to the demo and let him walk you through what the stages and steps are, and that'll help add a little bit more context.
Sure. Okay, so Marty talked about LCS, gave a little overview of LCS and how the tool builds on top of LCS to perform all the operations that he explained. So this is the screen. So as you start working with the CRM on-prem to online project, it starts with creating a new project in LCS. So when you create a new project, you will be presented with this screen where you specify the project. And when you select the Dynamics CRM as a product, you would see a methodology called on-premise to D365 online migration. So basically what that project template is, once you create a project with that methodology, it gives you a set of, it creates a project with all the 4 different stages, along with all the set of steps that need to happen within each stage, and sets up a project ready for you to work on. So I'm not going to create a new project. We'll quickly jump on to an existing project that we had already created. So once you go past from the first screen that we saw, once you create a new project, this is the landing page for that project would look like. So basically you see there are 4 different stages. You have the first stage where you gather basic information that pertains to the migration. So like, what is the customer information? What is the version from which you are trying to migrate? Is it CRM 2011, 2013, or 2015? and what is the specific Azure subscription details. So those are the details that we collect in this stage. So I'll just quickly walk through some of the key elements that need to be provided at this stage. So the first step is the Azure subscription details. So what this does is, if you remember, all these migrations, meaning the taking your on-premise database and spinning up a VM in Azure and taking it through multiple hops in terms of upgrade, everything happens within the customer's Azure subscription. And for us to efficiently do that and automate that whole process, we need access to that Azure subscription. So what we do is the project provides a way for us to get that access. So when you set up this project and as you go through those list of steps that is documented there, the first step is to establish that connection to Azure. So this happens by getting onto the screen, and you provide basically the Azure subscription ID here. And once you provide that, what it does is LCS provides you with a management certificate. And you need to take that certificate and import it into your Azure subscription. And once you get that certificate installed in your Azure subscription, from that point, LCS gets access to do all these automations in terms of spinning up a new VM, setting up CRM into that, restoring your on-prem database. And let's say if you're migrating from CRM 2013, so it would spin up a VM for 2013, it would spin up a VM for 2015, spin up a VM for 2016, and then it will take the upgrade through all those multiple hops and get it ready for the database to be finally moved over to CRM Online. So for LCS framework to do all of these automations, it needs the access to the Azure subscription, and that is what we are doing here as part of the first step. And then basically you install a utility called Azure Storage Explorer. So this is basically used to interact with your Azure storage in terms of providing information that this tool needs. So there are various set of information and data that this tool needs, at the first step, the backup of your on-premise database. So you can use this tool to upload the database backup onto a storage container that the LCS tool provisions for you. And then at various stages, you would need to provide additional data like your customizations, your source code files for plugins, workflow activities, and any custom .NET assemblies that you might have written pertaining to your CRM implementation, and also the user mapping files. So in order to provide all those data for the tool, this tool will be more useful. So we provide a link to that tool along with all the instructions. And I'm not going to go into detail of each step because as we work with the tool, you will see that for each step there is a detailed description that talks about exactly what needs to be done in each of those steps. So once you provide all these information, I'll quickly jump to the customer. So you'll start with this. So here you provide the basic information like what is the customer name and then what is the version from which you are migrating. So in this case, I'm migrating from CRM 2015 to online. So I'm choosing CRM 2015. And then the region in which your CRM is. So currently, we support North America, EMEA, APAC, and India, and we would be expanding it to all the CRM region, all the CRM Online supports as we expand the tool.
Including GCC.
Including GCC, yeah. And then what is the database, your on-premise database name? So typically, the CRM database follows the convention of your org name _ MSCRM. So you provide those details. And once you provide all those details, what happens is there is a step, one of the key steps here that minimizes your time is this pre-configure CRM environments. So what this does is, once you provide all this information, you can go ahead and start prepping all your environments. So instead of the tool waiting for you to provide all the information, for example, you might have a SQL, your on-prem DB might be about 500 gig, which means it's going to take at least a day or two, or from a couple of hours to a day or two, depending on your network connection, to upload onto our blob storage. So you don't want to wait till that time. So you can pre-prep the environments. So when you pre-prep, what LCS tool does is, it goes ahead and spins up the corresponding number of VMs that is required for your upgrade scenario. So if you're upgrading from 2011, then you need a 2011, 2013, 2015, and 2016 VMs. So the tool is going to go ahead and spin up all those VMs in your Azure instance, install the corresponding CRM version in each of those VMs, and then shut down those VMs so that the VMs are ready to go the moment the CRM, your SQL database is uploaded onto the tool. So that saves a lot of time in terms of pre-prep. And then in the next stage, you basically upload the SQL DB onto the Azure Blob Storage that the tool would provision for you. And then the other new feature that we added is the network security group. So as I said, the tool is going to spin up the VMs in Azure just to make sure that the data that you are going to upload, because it's your on-prem DB that is going to be restored in this Azure security, you need to make sure that your data is secure and is not accessible to anyone else other than you. So this network security group configuration allows you to do that. So what this does is, if you know that you or your partner are going to work on this whole upgrade process from within your corporate network, you can provide a specific IP range, and the tool would basically go ahead and create corresponding security groups so that these VMs that are spun up in your Azure subscription would be accessible only from within the IP range that you specify. So if you specify your corporate IP range, no one can access those VMs outside of your corporate network. So that ensures your data security. And once you go through all these steps in the first stage, then you move on to the next stage, which is import on-premise to the staging stage. So what this does is, so once your SQL database is uploaded to Azure Blob Storage, you can go ahead and start this staging setup. And at this point, what it does is the tool would download the Azure SQL database that you have uploaded to the Azure Blob Storage, and then depending on which version you are migrating from. So in this case, since I'm migrating from 2015, it is going to download that SQL backup file onto the 2015 VM, and then it's going to restore it into the SQL server, and then it's going to do an import through the CRM deployment manager and take it through the upgrade process. So once that is done, then your CRM 15 is ready for assessment. So once that stage is complete, you move on to the next stage.
Hey, Gan, before we move on there, one thing I wanted to just reiterate. Can you go back to stage one real quick? Yeah. And I want to just double click on this particular point because it comes up a lot from a security perspective. And that is the three things that you're providing that provide the trust between the LCS service and your subscription, right? And it's you providing it, it's you that have access to it. The first one is that certificate that LCS creates. So LCS creates a certificate based on the subscription ID. Then you have to take that that certificate and upload it into the certificate area of your subscription. If you don't do that, there's no connection. That's the most fundamental element of trust here. The next part of it is the Azure Blob Storage. One of the things that we have in here is the ability to put the Azure Blob Storage connection string, right? And that connection string, again, is another element of trust that gets passed along to the Dynamics service so that when it comes to the point where it needs to access that blob storage and download the final backup file, that there's a mechanism for it to do that based on that connection string that you provide in this tool as a configuration. That's how we help make sure that's accurate or controlled. And then third is where you're specifying the information about your online services tenant, right? Letting us know the person that's doing that stage needs to be a global administrator. And that helps to implement a control that you're not taking your database and putting into somebody else's tenant. This is really, really important for anybody that's doing this as a partner on behalf of a customer when we start to get into those scenarios, because we've had situations where a partner inadvertently went in and created the LCS project and filled all this information out as themselves, right? And they didn't realize it, right? They didn't realize what they just did there was set their tenant as the destination. Now, ultimately, there's other checks and balances that we go through to help make sure we don't send something where it doesn't belong, but it's really important to understand that those three elements together are what help to make sure that things are kept in your control in terms of where the data is, where it's moving, and who has access to be able to go and deal with it. And that connection string you set for blob storage is also something you can control in terms of who has rights to be able to get to it.
Yep.
Done.
Thanks.
Yes. So the question was, in other words, you have to do it in the customer's tenant. I think a better, even more accurate way to say that is that the user that is doing this process, right, when they log into Lifecycle Services, they need to be a user that is in the customer tenant. And it has to be a global admin. Or Dynamics 365 service admin, actually.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Either one of those.
Either one of those roles. So once your first primary or the CRM 15 or 21, whatever your source CRM org version is, Once that prep is done, then you would basically go into stage 3, which is the running validation checks. So what this does is, when you run this, it creates a set of folders in the Azure Blob Storage that the tool had set up, like placeholder where you can upload your plugin source code files, workflow, custom workflow activity source code files, and any custom solutions that you would have developed as part of your implementation. And once you provide all those tools, what the LCS framework does is, it would go ahead and analyze all those source codes, solution files, and provide you a detailed assessment report which says, these are the files that were scanned, these were the plugin source code that was scanned, and we found certain deprecated messages that are not supported in the online world or might not work once the migration is complete. So you would have an opportunity to go through those assessment reports and see what are all the unsupported customizations that the tool has found, and then you can fix them and then rerun those validations. So this is more of an iterative step to go back and forth until you get to a point where all the issues are addressed and the validation succeeds. Yeah.
Can you come up to the mic? Yeah, great, thank you.
You are saying the plugin source code. If it's a third-party plugin or the plugin written, and we have just a DLL file for that one.
Yeah. So we do not scan DLLs. So the tool only parses your plugin source code or plugin files for which you have access to the source code.
So
if it is any other third-party plugin or third-party solution files, we do not analyze them.
Okay, thank you.
And once the whole assessment is done and everything looks good, then you get to the final stage, which is the upgrade of the CRM organization. So depending on which version you are in, so it starts, as you see here, it starts with your source version, and then at each point, there's a multiple set of series of steps and actions that happens. So it starts with CRM 2015, it takes your backup of your SQL database, uploads it to the Azure Blob, and then downloads it into the CRM 2016 VM, and then restores it into the SQL, takes it through an upgrade process, and then uploads it back to the Azure's Blob storage. And depending on which version you start from, and depending on how many hops you have to go through, so if you start with 2011, then you have to take the upgrade through 2011 to 2013, 2013 to 2015, and 2015 to 2016. So all of those hops, upgrades in terms of those hops, are all automated here. So you would see each activity listed down here. So in this case, everything is complete, but otherwise you would see the progress of the action in each stage. So you will see 2015 is in progress, the backup is, waking up of the VM is complete, backup is in progress, and then these other activities would be marked as not started. So you can continue to monitor the progress of what the upgrade is, and since all of these are automated, you don't, it's like a 24/7 activity once you start.
So I have a question for you. Since you're not validating whether or not the upgrade will pass until you're posted and you uploaded your database, if it fails through any of those upgrades, say you fell from 2013 to 2015, and I assume that there will be something back from some type of report of what failed and why it failed, and then we go back to our on-prem, remediate that issue and start over. Would that be correct?
Yes, that is right.
Yeah, I mean, typically where we start to see failures at this juncture is when it's trying to go through the upgrade, right? When it actually deploys, it takes a 2013 and you import it into SQL Server, and then it actually deploys it through Deployment Manager, through script, right? That's usually where a failure show up, and then they just show up in the CRM logs on the VM. So one of the things that Ghana was going to point out is how you can go to the VM and get at those logs to be able to see what it was that went sideways.
It's always sort of bothered me having to jump through multiple major versions by installing that version, either a virtual machine or instantiating, say, 2013 to 2015.
Yeah.
Only database scripts are being applied to the database. I've never understood why Microsoft would not give some type of tool that would just, you could apply the same scripts that the upgrades applying to the database and just continue on through to the version you're looking for. It's never made a lot of sense to me why they don't do that. Has anyone thought about perhaps creating some type of automated script so that you don't have to land it into a 2013 VM and then a 2015 VM? It would save a huge amount of time to extract that SQL
Sure. It's a fair point, and I would say that this is as close as we've gotten at this juncture. Yeah.
But I mean, has anyone considered looking at that?
I don't know. I don't know.
No. Okay. So this is a quick snap. So in this case, if you look at the project, there are 2 VMs that the tool has spun up for me. And clicking on each of those VMs would basically take you to a screen where it shows all the details about the VM that the tool has provisioned. So typically, for every deployment, we provision 3 VMs. So we have a database server, which is SQL. We have a CRM server, and then we have an Active Directory server. So you can log into any of these VMs right from here using the credentials that is also available here, which is securely stored. And once you click on any of these links, it would basically open up an RDP file that you can use to log in. So in this case, I'm logged into the CRM VM, and I'm accessing my CRM on-premise database. And I've just purposely opened up this audit summary view just to show that we migrate the entire database. So any customizations that typically do not go through data migration process is transferred as part of this online as well. So in this case, I have an audit view. I wanted to quickly show, and then jumping back here. So once you get through the process of upgrading, taking your source version all the way up to 2016, the tool generates a user mapping CSV file and uploads it to the same blob storage where you have access to. And as part of before the final kicking off the final migration, one of the final critical step is to take that user mapping CSV file, where it would have all the list of your Active Directory users, and it would also have a column for you to provide the target O365 user mapping user IDs as well. So for each of the users defined in that CSV file, you would have to provide the corresponding matching user from your O365 Azure Active Directory. And once you provide that, fill that mapping file and re-upload it back to the Azure Blob Storage, you would basically come back to step 4.3, which is the actual migration. So in this case, as you work with your FastTrack team, when you get to this stage, provided you have satisfied all the previous upgrades and data that has been provided, you'd get into the stage where you would see a button called upgrade or migrate to CRM Online. So at that stage, what happens is, from your CRM 2016, it would basically run a certain set of database validation checks that are mandatory for us to perform to ensure that the database is clean and there are no tampering that has been done in terms of manipulating any store procedures or creating custom store procedures or changing any of the database settings. So we run a series of validation checks, and once all those validation checks are completed and they are all successful, then it would start the process of migrating. So when we get to that stage, what happens is it would take the final SQL backup and upload it to the Azure Blob Storage, and it would make a call to the CRM Online API. And that call is actually a secure call which only the LCS tool can make to the CRM Online environment, and LCS cannot push the database onto CRM Online as well. So when the tool makes a call to CRM Online API saying, hey, I have a database ready for you to ingest and take to online, at that point, CRM Online infrastructure would basically do a pull of this SQL backup and take it into the CRM Online infrastructure, and then it would basically restore it in the online infrastructure and then do the upgrade. And then there are a series of steps that you see here. Basically, it will go ahead and create a new sandbox, restore this database on top of that sandbox, and then do the upgrade. And then based on the user mapping file that you had provided, it would basically provision and assign all the user mapping and complete all the user mapping to make sure that your on-prem users are properly mapped to your online users. And once all the steps are complete, it would also run an additional validation check to make sure everything is in place. And then once all the processes are completed, then it will do a final cleanup, and it will provide you the URL of the online org as well here. So this is based on the data value or based on the information that you provide at the time of creating the project. And once that whole process is complete, you can basically take that online URL and access it through online, and you would be able to see the exact same org DB that had been migrated successfully into CRM Online infrastructure.
Can you click on details on step 8?
Which one?
The second to the last step, the details. Click on the details, or third.
Oh, this
yeah,
one.
Yeah, that. Just to give a sense of all the validations it's going through.
Yeah. So these are all the validations that the tool does. So mostly everything on the SQL and the workflows, basically on the data tier, mid tier, and the front end. So all of those validations are explained here. And for validations which fails, it would also give a corresponding instruction in terms of what failed and what needs to be done to fix it. For one of the example is the SQL collation validation, because the online accepts only access case insensitive, accent insensitive collation, or CI underscore AI collation. If your on-prem DB had any other collation other than that, this validation would fail. So you would have to go back and work with your DBAs to make sure that you change the collation to the supported collation, and then rerun the whole process, and then that validation would basically succeed. So if any of these validation checks fail, the whole migration would fail, and then you would have to restart the migration after you fix all those issues.
All right. So we are over time, and I think the last thing we want to just kind of let everybody know as we close out here is how you get involved with this, and that is to work with, through your Microsoft, either if you're a partner, working with your representation inside Microsoft that you might have connections with, or if you're a customer, working with your account executive or your TAM. And what they can do is nominate you into the FastTrack program, and then from there we can take it forward. One of the things we're doing this fiscal year is expanding out. That's okay. One of the things we're doing this fiscal year is making additional investments to expand the number of customers that we can work with, and we want to do that through the partner organization, right? So we'll be working with select partners to be able to understand the intricacies of how this tool works, to work with customers to drive it forward, right? So be on the lookout for more announcements and awareness in terms of when we can get involved with you to do that, because the tool itself is very simple to go through. The intricacies come into when things don't go right, whether there's remediations or whether there's just strange errors that happen that are specific to your org, and understanding how to get to the error logs. And we would continue to work with whomever is doing it to be able to show some of the telemetry that would help sort out what needs to be addressed. So I know we're over time, so we want to be respectful of the next set of speakers, but we're gonna stay around here. Just kind of if there's additional questions, please come up and help us. We'll help you answer them. All right, thank you.